The Grammy goes to...
Grammy snub, Nigeria's biggest stars lost, and nobody is talking about the real reason why. Celeb Clope. Let me tell you something. When the Grammy results dropped, Nigerian Twitter did not just catch fire, it became the fire. Because 5 nominees. 5. And not one trophy went home to Nigeria. Not one. So today, on Celeb Clope, we are going to talk about what really happened, why it stings this bad, and whether the Grammy stage is even built for Afrobeats to win, or just to shine and go home empty-handed. Stay with me, because this conversation is about to go places. First, let's set the table. The Best African Music Performance category this year was stacked. We had Burna Boy with Love, calm, intentional, the kind of record that reminds you why people call this man a genius. Then Davido came in with You, featuring Omale, and that song alone carried the kind of emotional weight that should make any Grammy voter sit up straight. Ira Star brought Gimme Dat featuring Wizkid, 2 of Nigeria's brightest, on one track, and that still wasn't enough. Eddie Kenzo and Mehran Matin showed up with Hope and Love, representing East Africa. And then there was Tyla, South Africa's golden girl, with Push to Start. Tyla won. Now before anybody starts typing in the comments, let's be very clear, Tyla is talented. She is undeniable. Last year she took home the first ever Grammy for Best African Music Performance with Water, and this year, she did it again. That is not a small thing. That is a generational achievement. But here is the question nobody in the mainstream press wants to answer. Why does it feel like no matter how many Nigerians show up to that category, they are always the ones watching someone else hold the trophy? Because look at the names on that nominee list again. Burna Boy, Davido, Wizkid, Ira Star. These are not small artists. These are people selling out arenas in London, New York, Paris, Toronto. Burna Boy performed at the O2. Wizkid filled Madison Square Garden. Davido's concerts are events, not just shows, events. The global footprint of Nigerian music is enormous. So when you see that kind of firepower walk into a category and walk out with nothing, you have to ask, is this about music, or is this about something else entirely? Here is what the streets are saying, and Celeb Clope is not afraid to say it with them. The Grammy system does not always reward the biggest sound. It rewards the most familiar narrative. And right now, Tyla fits a narrative that is easy for Western audiences and Grammy voters to digest. She is pop-adjacent. Her sound blends smoothly into what mainstream America already loves. Afrobeats, in its rawest, most unapologetic form, the way Burna does it, the way Davido does it, still feels foreign to too many of the people holding those voting cards. And that is the uncomfortable truth sitting in the middle of this whole conversation. Nigerian music lovers were disappointed. Deeply. Because this was not a one-time thing. This was a pattern repeating itself. You get nominated, you get celebrated for being nominated, you go to the ceremony looking sharp, you smile for the cameras, and then you come home without the award. Again. It has started to feel less like a celebration and more like a very expensive photo opportunity. Now, some people will say, but the Grammy recognition alone is enough. And to that, Celeb Clope says, respectfully, no. No, it is not. Recognition without reward, when the talent is clearly there, is not a compliment. It is a consolation prize. And Nigerian artists have outgrown consolation prizes. What makes this even more layered is that Afrobeats is currently one of the fastest-growing music genres in the world. Streaming numbers do not lie. Collaboration requests from American pop stars do not lie. The fact that American artists are now trying to sound Afrobeats does not lie. The influence is there. The cultural moment is there. But the Grammy trophy, it keeps finding its way into other hands. Some industry insiders argue that Nigerian labels and management teams need to invest more aggressively in Grammy campaigns, the kind of behind-the-scenes lobbying, voter outreach, and strategic media plays that turn nominations into wins. And they are not entirely wrong. The Grammy process is political. Always has been. If you want to win, you cannot just release music and hope voters find it. You have to work the room. You have to make noise in the right spaces. The question is whether the Nigerian entertainment industry is willing to play that game at the highest level consistently, not just during nomination season. Because the talent, that has never been the problem. What is also interesting is that this loss is going to do something to these artists. People like Burna Boy do not stay quiet after moments like this. Artists like Ira Star and Wizkid have a hunger that does not die at a ceremony. If anything, a loss like this adds fuel. And if history has taught us anything about Nigerian musicians, they come back louder. So maybe the real story is not that Nigeria lost. Maybe the real story is that Nigeria is building something so massive, so undeniable, that eventually there will be no narrative powerful enough to look away from it. That day is coming. And when it does, Celeb Clope will be right here to break it down for you. If this video had you thinking, talking, or ready to argue in the comments, that is exactly where we want you. Drop your thoughts below. Do you think the Grammys are built for Afrobeats to win? Let us know. And if you are not subscribed to Celeb Clope yet, what are you waiting for? Hit that subscribe button right now, because Nigerian entertainment never sleeps, and neither do we. New videos drop regularly, and you do not want to be the last one to know.